Hello and welcome to part 4 of our series of support videos for Boachsoft Finance 2018. Let's start the software. So now we do have our software up and running. Again, we do have here a welcome message from Boachsoft CEO Boakye-Yiadom. He is also the Boachsoft founder. Well, to take you on this tour is Boachsoft founder and CEO Boakye-Yiadom. If you don't want to see this screen again, check the do not display the screen again checkbox and click close. So we do have our reminders here. Overdue bills and deposits are highlighted in yellow. Upcoming bills and deposits have a white background. Okay. So today we'll be talking about several things. We'll be talking about passwords, budgets, and explain categories further. Let's start by creating a new file. To create a new file, we go to File, click the New button. Okay, so I've just zoomed on it. This is File, New. Okay. Then we give it a name, a unique name. So we will call it Demo 4 file. Demo 4, simply Demo 4. We click Save It to save it. Okay. Now it's asking us whether we want to save our current file. Okay. So we click Save Changes, save our current file. Okay. So we do have the first setup screen for our new file. Okay. Now this gives us the option to select the base currency. The base currency would usually be the currency of your home country or the currency that you use regularly. So you can see we have several currencies here, currencies of all countries. Okay, now our base currency is going to be the United States dollar, which has been selected, so we're going to leave it this way. Okay, so on this window, we can also set a password for our file. So with these two boxes, we can password protect our file, but we will do that later. The new banking center would help us to organize our regularly used financial institutions. However, we do not have to type in all financial institutions in our country. To help us or to help users easily do this, we already have collated data on the most frequently used banks in many countries. Not all banks have been listed though. Okay, now so this from this screen you can select the financial institutions that you want to add. Okay, here we'll leave it uh, at the default option, United States of America. So we're going to add the frequently used financial institutions from the United States. Uh, there may be one or two banks that won't appear here. Okay, do not worry. You can always include them yourself. If new banks appear, you can always add them to the banking center yourself. Now, whenever you create a new account, you can associate a bank with the account. In the banking center, well, you can set the address of the bank ID number, the bank website, the OFX download URL. When entering transactions in the registers of the various accounts, you can visit the websites and download your transactions simply by clicking a button. Okay, and it will take you straight to the website of your banking institution or the banking institution of the register that you're working in. Okay, so we'll just click OK and continue. So we do have created our new file. Okay, this is our new file. It's new. There is no data. Now, today we're going to learn how to password protect our files. So we'll go to password protect files. We'll go to Tools, and then select Options. Okay, so the first window we did see now pops up again. Okay, we select the password tab, and then we type the password. Okay, so we have typed a password. A very strong password would go a long way to protect your file. Okay, so we have selected a strong password. So after typing it, you confirm the password by typing the very first one, the very first password you typed. Okay. Now, that is all it takes to password protect our file. Now, anytime you enter data or make changes, they aren't automatically saved. So remember to frequently save your files. So we have saved it, okay? Now, so let's close the application and let's restart it, okay? So we are restarting the application. And remember, we password protected our file. No one else knows the password. So when you password protect files, when you open them, a window pops up asking you to type the password. If someone does not know the password, the person cannot gain access to the files. Okay, so the screen pops up. Now, what does it say? It says enter the required password to sign in. Okay, so we were successful at password protecting our files. And we are going to type the password that we entered earlier to open it. Okay, we type it, we click OK. Now it says what? Password not correct. Okay, So we might have made a slight mistake. We're gonna go over it. Okay, so um, we have logged into the file. We have opened the file. Okay, so well, with Boachsoft Finance, the last file you open is automatically open for you when the software starts. Okay, now we were successful at password protecting our file. Now, what if we want to clear the password that we set? It is the same, it isn't difficult. We go to Tools, go to Options, okay, and the same window comes up. We go to the Password tab and we leave everything blank and click OK. Now, a message box pops up saying, do you want to continue using your existing password? Since we are clearing the password we set, okay, we'll check no. If you want to set a new password, uh, you can set it right from this screen. So we have cleared it. Okay, so we have cleared our password. So again, we click saved. Financial institutions from your home country are automatically added. Okay, so this is the bank center that we talked about. Okay, so you can see some of the financial institutions from the United States. If you want to add financial institutions from more countries, you can still do the same. Simply click the fill button. Okay, so these are the financial institutions. Okay, so here we have Zion's Bank, Salt Lake City, Utah. That's the phone number there. Now, if you don't see a financial institution from your home country, um, it isn't a problem at all. You can always add it by clicking the new button. So we go to categories. Whenever you create a new file, the software imports a default set of categories. These categories are appropriate for many people, but they may not be appropriate for you. You don't worry, you can always reorganize them. You can create new categories by clicking on the buttons on the left panel. You can click any of the buttons on the left panel, new, edit, delete. So here you have some of the categories: automobile, then the subcategories: car payment, car wash, gasoline, insurance, maintenance, parking, toll roads. Okay. So, well, what are categories? Categories help us to categorize our financial transactions, to group our financial transactions. Now, this is not only important for reporting purposes, it is also important for um, other purposes. The software relies on categories extensively. We budget using these categories. So we have the option of maintaining our categories. We can adding to them. You can add to them as you enter transactions into the various registers. Anytime you enter a new transaction, If the default categories don't fit your needs, you can type a new category and it will be added automatically. Okay, now we're going to demonstrate how to add a new category by clicking the new button. The new category window comes up. Okay, we're going to create a new category. To create a new category, we click on the new button on the left panel. Okay, although we do have automobile here, we can see only subcategories for car payment, car wash, gasoline, insurance, maintenance, parking, and toll roads. There is no category for public transportation, so we're going to create a category for public transportation. So we begin by clicking we just type public transportation. So we just created a new category for public transportation. We would like to create two subcategories. So we begin by creating the very first one. Yellow cap, the metered taxes. So we just type a comment. Metered taxes. Okay. So we just added one new category. Now they are listed in alphabetical order. The main categories are listed in alphabetical order. Okay, so we're going to scroll down. So here we see public transportation and we see here what? Yellow cab metered taxis. So there are two types of categories. There are expenditure categories and then there are income categories, or simply expense categories and income categories. And with the categories, okay, you can have a main category and you can also have what? A subcategory. Categories help us to group our financial transactions. They help us to classify our financial transactions, or you could also say to categorize our financial transactions. So these are important for reporting purposes. We also use categories to create budgets. We use categories when we schedule transactions. We use categories in creating financial forecasts. Okay, so now that we've understood categories, we can move on to the budget center and create a new budget. Now, to access the budget center, we just select from the main tool menu, budgets. Okay, now previously we uh, brought up the categories center by simply clicking the categories button on the main toolbar. Okay, but we're going to the budget center, so we just click budgets on the main toolbar. As you can see, we have nothing so far. So you can see three buttons here: new for adding a new budget, or budgeting for a new category; editing, this is the edit button for editing a category; and delete for deleting a budget. Then in the bottom panel, you see the budget summary, total income, total expenditure, and the difference between the two. Uh, you see that here below the red bar. Then this is actual. Okay, this is the actual amount uh, spent within that period. Okay, that's total expenditure, actual amount spent within a specific period. And then income, actual amount received within a particular period, actual amount earned within a particular period. And this is the difference between the two. So just above here, in the top panel of the budget center, there's the budget period screen with some predefined options. There is this month, there's this week, this month, this year, next week, next month, next year, last week, last month, last year. Now, all these options will affect the data displayed. We can budget for any period. We can budget to create a budget. We can enter values for each month of the year, or we can set up recurring items. For example, you know, the daily amount spent on a particular item. We can budget daily, budget weekly, budget bi-weekly, budget monthly, budget, create the budget item, you know, that states the amount to be spent every 2 months. So we can create a budget uh, for a period spanning 2 months. We can create a quarterly budget. We can create a budget for 6 months. We do not necessarily have to use the same period for all of them. But irrespective of the period that you use, when you're viewing them, they will be converted to the appropriate period. So let's say for some categories we budgeted daily, for others quarterly, the rest yearly. Well, when we click this month, they will all be converted to monthly amounts. The software has an interesting way of doing this. It may convert them, whatever amount you entered, into its daily equivalent and multiply it by the number of days in the month. Okay, so this is a period spanning 1 month, this is a period spanning 1 week, and this is a period spanning 1 year. So no matter what you choose, the software will convert the amounts entered into the appropriate period. If you budgeted for a particular category daily, on a daily basis, or if you entered the amount to be spent per day, when you click this year, it would multiply it by the number of days in a year, which is 365 on regular years and on 366 in leap years. If you did budget yearly, well, it will leave the amount unchanged. The same goes for month. If you did budget monthly, it will leave the amount unchanged. Okay, we'll see that shortly. It may be confusing. Whatever I said may sound esoteric, may sound abstruse, but as we go along, they will become crystal clear. So let's not waste time. Okay, so we're going to create a budget. So the first thing we're going to create, well, we can only budget for categories that have already been predefined. We're going to start by entering our we are going to budget for the very first item, that is what, income. Okay, so we click new, then a new window pops up. Which type of category are you budgeting for? We are budgeting, well, salary is an income, so we'll check what income. We select the income radio button and click next. Then the budget item screen comes up. So you select the category that you are budgeting for here. You click here. So wages and salary is what we are budgeting for. We have selected wages and salary. Now we have the option to create recurring items. Well, if we want to budget, if the amount to be budgeted is going to vary month by month, we can just simply click custom and enter monthly values here. Okay, so maybe in January you expect to earn 4,000. February you expect to earn 5,000. Well, this isn't really the case, so we'll do that for another item altogether, another category altogether. Okay. Uh, well, since we are very sure of the amount we will be earning month by month, we like to make it what recurring. Or so we might want to budget here. So using a recurring amount. Now, the frequency tells us the period that we want to budget for. The default is monthly. Now, what other options are available? There are several options available. You can budget, you can enter daily values, weekly values every 2 weeks, monthly every 2 months, quarterly every 6 months, and lastly, yearly. Okay. Now, in many countries, wages are stated annually. In other countries, stated monthly. Some people are paid bi-weekly, that is every 2 weeks. Okay, so here we're gonna select monthly, and the monthly salary is what we're going to enter here. So the monthly salary is going to be 8,000 US dollars. Okay, so we prefer it this way. Okay, so we just click finish, and we have our first item. It says what? Income budget, wages and salary, and says what? 8,000. Okay, we go down, and what do we have? We have total income 8,000, and then okay, so now that is the difference. Now I talked about the budget period view. Whenever viewing all your budget items, you can view them monthly or yearly. Okay, so uh, well, wages and salary is 8,000 per month. Now, what if we want to view all yearly? This year, okay. So annually, it's going to be $96,000. Okay, what if we want to view it weekly? Weekly, well, it's going to be $1,846.15. The software has an interesting way of uh, whatever converting budgeted amounts to their weekly equivalents. It may calculate the annual value. For example, the monthly, it may multiply it by 12 to get the annual value, and then divide it by 365 to get the daily value, and multiply it by 7. There are 7 days in the week. Or it may simply divide it by 4. There are 4 weeks in a month. Okay. Um, the first option is preferred. It may also convert it by dividing the monthly value you entered by the number of days in the specific month. Okay, that will give us the daily value for the month, and then multiply it by 7. This may be confusing. Don't worry about it. The software will take care of that. That is what a software is for anyway. Software is supposed to make work easy. Okay, so the software will do that for you. Okay, now let's just continue with our budget. Now Later on, you can actually compare budgeted amount and actual amounts here. You can see a summary. Although there are reports that will give you more information, uh, and in-depth information, but the summary here is handy. Okay, so this week nothing has been spent. Uh, Next week, I mean last week, nothing was spent, so it will still be zero. This is a completely new file. Okay, now this is the only income we're going to budget for now. Now, our first expenditure category, okay, we're going to budget for tithes, and we know tithes are what? Well, tithes are 10% of wages, of income, 10% of your increase. That is what tithes are for. So that is going to be the first item we're going to budget for. Okay. Well, this is an interesting budget. Okay. Don't worry, you don't have to budget for tithes. You can create budgets for your own categories, or you can act when if you're using the software for your business, you can actually create new categories for your business. Okay, so we click next. Okay, go to category. Yeah, then we go to church. Now, yeah, church. Okay, so it is a subcategory. So church tithing, we have selected church tithing, and we're going to budget for church tithing. Okay, so this is the new budget item. So this is church tithing. This is the desktop. Okay, so let's zoom in. Okay, now it's very simple. So we're going to make this also a recurring um, item, and the frequency is going to be monthly, since our tithes well are just a percentage of our wages, and we entered the major for the wages and salary. We use the monthly frequency, so we're going to use the same. You do not have to use the same frequency for all. You can use it. You can select any. You know, so this makes it very easy to create budgets. Okay, so now let's move a bit faster. 10% will be 800. So each and every month we're gonna pay tax 800 US dollars. Okay, okay. Now we don't need any notification for this, so we click finish. So what does it say? Expenditure budgets, income budgets, is just wages and salary. Okay, this month, so we can view it monthly. Okay, so 8,800. We can view it annually this year. So wages and salary is going to be 96,000, and tithes is going to make up 9,600 US dollars. Now, whenever creating a budget, you need information. You can create a budget by estimating it, if this is your very first budget. If you have already entered transactions into the software, you can create a budget by first creating a report of your previous transact or of your previous expenditures. You can create a income expenditure report over a period of time. Print that report. Based on that report, you can create a new budget. If this is your very first budget, you could obtain information from another place. For our purposes, we have decided to use information from a website. Okay, so there's this article here that says what how to create how to create a home budget from the CEO's blog. How to create a home budget. Okay, it does have values. It does have some data, and we're going to use that data to create our very first budget. Now, according to the United States Census Bureau, the median household income for 2014 was 51,939 US dollars. According to a United States Department of Labor report, in 2014, Americans spent on average the following amounts on the following categories. Okay, now this is a good place to start. Okay, by first budgeting, this is what mortgage, uh, 850 US dollars a month. We're gonna use the same thing. It may vary for you. Uh, this is for demonstration purposes. So we create new, or we click new. We go to it's an expenditure category. So mortgage, okay, category. Let's see. Do we already have a category? Uh, okay, so we can see our new category here, mortgage payments. Now, oh, we made a mistake. The software doesn't allow us to edit it that way. So we click delete to delete it. Then we click new. Okay. So we do everything again. It's time more carefully. Mortgage payments 850, and we are budgeting 850. Okay. Well, okay. So this is what 850. That's for the month. I'm just going to demonstrate another feature. So we click new expenditure. $3,548 US dollars, and for what miscellaneous expenditure. Okay. Now, so this was to demonstrate another feature. We budgeted monthly, but this time we're going to use yearly. So this is a yearly amount. Okay, 3,548 for miscellaneous expenditures. Okay, so since we are viewing it monthly, the software converted it to a monthly value. Now, 3,548, well, monthly is going to be $301.34. Okay, so we can go on and on and on. Now, as we go on, we can see a summary of our budget here below. Total income 8,000, total expenditure 1,951.34. This tells us the difference. We're going to budget for the next item. Now, let's say, okay, so we go to new expenditure. Now, each and every day, we swipe our Metro card once. Okay, we park our car and then swipe the Metro card because we're in downtown Manhattan. Well, you can actually drive through downtown Manhattan, pay the toll fees and all that. But we still decided to go by subway. Okay, not a metered taxi. well, yeah, the subway. Okay, so now, well, this is just for demonstration purposes. Don't you worry about it at all. Okay, now we did create a category for public transportation, metro mass transit. Now we're going to budget here. Now, um, okay, so well, how much was it? Well, it used to be $2. You know, okay. So, well, we're gonna budget daily. Okay, so daily, uh, in and out, not more than $5. Okay, so this is just to tell you that you can budget for different frequencies. You can budget monthly, daily, weekly, whatever. The software will manage it automatically. So we click finish, and it's converted it. We are viewing it monthly, so $5 each and every day. This month will amount to 155. It takes so the monthly values will vary because they aren't the number of days in a month aren't the same. We budgeted daily. If we had budgeted monthly, then it would have been the same amount for each and every month. Since we budgeted daily, the amounts are going to vary from month to month since the number of days in a month aren't the same. So this is month view. Okay, we can also view it weekly. How much would it? It would be $35 a week. Our income is going to be $96,000. Expenditure 25,173. The difference 70,827. Okay, now when we view it monthly, what does our summary say? Total income 8,000 US dollars. Total expenditure $2,106 34 cents. And what is the difference? Now $5,893 66 cents. Okay, so we're creating our budget. Now, what does it say? When we view weekly, total income $1,846 15 cents. Total expenditure will be $484. And what is the difference? $1,362 15 cents. So we're going to budget for more items. Okay. So each and every month, we're going to spend about $300 on leisure. Okay, so we're going to use the category leisure for this item. I'm going to spend $300 each and every month. So we have selected leisure, we have entered 300. Now to our notifications. Notifications for expenditures. Like I said, we would have to check the button here, the checkbox here, notify me when expenditure exceeds a specific amount, when expenditure exceeds budgeted amount, when expenditure exceeds 85% of budgeted amount. So we have budgeted 300 US dollars for leisure. Each month we'll set aside 300 US dollars for leisure. Okay, so now we would want the software to notify us when we exceed 85% of the budgeted amount. So the last option will be appropriate. Okay, so we continue. So leisure alone is 3,600. Okay, we go to review our budgets. So we still have 5,543 left. That is the difference. Okay, so we're going to continue with our budget this way, but we're going to go faster. Okay, so finally our budget is done. These are our expenditure budgets. and that's our income budget. Okay, so when we view it monthly, our total income is going to be $8,000. Total expenditure $7,320.72 monthly, and well, that gives us a difference of 679 cents, $679.28. Okay, so that is the amount that we'll be saving each and every month. Thank you and have a great day. This brings us to the end of the video.